I'm talking with Lawrie Hooper. We're just broadcasting this on the day of House of Keys. You got quite a lot of things down, but the one that really intrigued me was the one about the buses. This is a prom system where there was a shuttle bus put on. And I think you were the only one who went, okay, interesting idea. But you're digging down now for more information.
Yeah, so my understanding is that scheme's kind of stopped now, or at least is on a temporary hold. So it'll be interesting to see, did it work? So the reason that they put it on was, I think, to support the businesses on the promenade, to help people get to and from them in the middle of the promenade works. It seems like a good idea. But my question really is more in that wider context, saying, well, if you put on a free bus, did people use it? And was it an increase in bus passengers, or was it just people that were always going to get the bus up and down, just hopping on a free service? Because there is a campaign on the Isle of Man at the moment talking about, well, should we be looking at free public transport across the
I was going to ask you that. What do you think?
I'm undecided, actually. I can see the benefits of it, but I think for me it's got to be, if you're going to do something like that, it has to be done with a real objective in mind. And the objective obviously should be, let's get people out of cars, let's put on get people to walk to work, to cycle to work, public transport use. All that stuff sounds great, but actually will it work in practice on the Isle of Man? I don't know the answer to that, and that's why I think, looking at the way it works on the promenade, that's quite an urban area. So you'd think if there is going to be it's going to work somewhere, it's going to work in Douglas. So let's actually see what data did the DOI have, what are their plans now, because it might be that they've decided no, it was a one-off scheme and it was completely isolated and it wasn't ever intended to be used as anything else. Might be they've got bigger plans, who knows.
Right, well, it's one of those shuttle bus, smaller ones, and it's going up and down, because I was watching with interest, because I couldn't quite work out why not just make the normal buses free on the promenade. Was that not an option, do you think, that they could look
again,
at?
that could be something that they looked at. It could be something that we can have a conversation about with the DOI to say, well, hold on a second, maybe let's not make all transport free. Maybe let's start by saying, okay, let's make certain sections of certain routes free and see if that increases uptake. I think there's a lot of things that they could try if they were minded to try and build a sort of strategic plan around how do we get more people to use public transport. Who knows?
Well, I mean, these park and ride schemes, this is what we're coming down to, isn't it? It's been tried in various disguises before now. No one seems that keen. Am I wrong? Or really to give up their car?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very heavy car user, which is why I moved to an electric vehicle, because I wanted to do at least what I could. But I think for a lot of people, public transport is an option, and I think we have to try and say, well, why people don't use public transport? Is it the length of time? Is it the quality of the service? Is it the timings the buses run? Is it the cost? I think there are a lot of factors that would incentivise or disincentivise people from using public transport.
Well, I was talking about electric cars. I mean, they're going to bring in a charge and all that sort of thing. Are you for that? I mean, these free, and Ramsey's got 4 that I think of. There will now be at some point be a charge on them.
Yeah, I think in principle it makes sense to charge people to use public charging points. At the end of the day, someone's got to pay for the electricity, and when you reach a critical mass and say actually everyone's using an electric car, it wouldn't make any sense at all to have every single charging point free. I think when they started off and it was only a very few EVs on the island, free service, that made a lot of sense, because it probably would have cost them more to introduce a charging mechanism than they would have made from it. But I think now we're seeing more and more EV users on the island. I think it makes sense to say, right, okay, now we've got the infrastructure there, let's see about how we can make that sustainable, because at the end of the day we need more charging points to encourage more people to buy electric cars, and they're not going to do that if they can't fund it some way. Okay,
and the other thing, of course, did you get your discount? When you buy a new one, you have to do, in the Isle of Man, you don't get what the UK give, this sort of £4,000 for an electric car, but in the Isle of Man they don't as such. You have to, although some garages do a little workaround. Do you think that should be looked at?
Yeah, I do actually. I think the great thing about the EV market at the moment, there's a lot of second-hand. So the car I bought was second-hand, and I think that's really shows that now there's a lot of second-hand vehicles on the market. The market is getting stronger, and you can buy. They're much more affordable than they were, 4 or 5 years ago. Does the Isle of Man need some kind of financial incentive or support scheme? I'm not sure about that. I think there's definitely a conversation to be had around how we help people upgrade their car. But I think the easiest thing to do is just tell people, when you are replacing your vehicle, just don't buy a petrol one. Look at an EV as an option. And I think the only way people are going to look at EVs as an option for them is if they know, well, yes, I can charge it anywhere I go. It's definitely going to be okay. It's definitely got the range. So I think it's on government to see that the infrastructure is all in place. That's what's more important.
And what about electric buses? I mean, Jersey's been trialling them, I think.
Yeah, I think again the Isle of Man, I'm pretty sure I saw they were trialling a hybrid bus quite recently. And so again, some routes I think would be great for electric buses, other routes perhaps not so much. So it's about saying let's see the best technology we can have that will work for the various routes and different parts of the island. Really, it's not about a one-size-fits-all solution.